Okay, y'all, at the house here, I got a dead pine tree there. You can see it. The sun's in our eyes. It's a dead pine there. I got this new thing today in the mail. It's not sponsored or nothing, but it's a quick disconnect. And I bought a shark's tooth, whatever you want to call that. Made in USA. They're for these small. I got a B21. They're for these small tractors. I'm gonna try to cut the roots around it and then push it over. See if I can do that. I don't know if this small tractor will do it or not. I think it probably will, but I ain't never used one of them things. It's like a sawtooth. You can pull up on it and it'll like cut through it. And it's also got a back cut on it right there. So we're gonna try it and see what it does. I don't like running them wide open. I'm gonna run it about this throttle. That's greased the whole thing too, so I'm trying to be careful here not to get all greasy. But I'm gonna try to cut the roots on the back side and this front side, and I can probably get this corner, and then I'll spin around here and cut the other two sides, and then I'm gonna try to push it over. There's a hole right through there, it will fall. You know, obviously if I'm pushing it. There's a perfect spot there it can fall down in. So. And I got power lines over here, so I don't want to take these power lines out. But that tree, if it falls, it will take the power lines out if it falls this way. And all the weight is on this side because the tree's over there keeping the limbs from growing on that back side. So I could take my saw and cut it. I don't really want to do that if I can help it. I'd rather bring it all down at one time. So like I say, I'm gonna try to cut around it and see what happens there. I think it'll be fine. We'll see how this new little thing does. You know, a pine tree's got a big taproot to go straight down. I won't be able to do nothing with it, but I think if I can break everything else up around it, it'll be like a post. You know, you move a post around, it'll get free. So I'm gonna try it and see if that works. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show y'all what I'm doing here. I don't think I can prop you guys up anywhere, and I don't think I can do all this one-handed here. Yeah, I don't believe I can do this one-handed. Let me here. See if I can. Break that limb out of my way there, so they can beat me up the whole time. Did or not. Anyway, let me see what I can do here and I'll come back. I'm full tilt in the ground. I would have said there's no way, but I buried it all the way around the tree on these two sides. So I've cut down. It's about 13, 14 inches, maybe 15 inches. And I cut full depth in clay, hard pan clay. You can see way over here that I'm pulling roots. See where that ground's cracked in there? That's where that root broke. So, I mean, she's getting it done. I'm gonna walk around to the other side and pull them other two sides, but I'm about 99.9% sure it just cut everything around that thing down 14 inches, 14, 16 inches, whatever that is. We'll pull a tape measure on it, but you can see the dirt on the gusset. That gusset right there, you can see the dirt on it. It's pulling full whatever you want to call that, all the way in it. I'd have never believed that a bucket around here you can get the teeth in is about all you can get. But this thing, is buried. But pretty good. I I'm impressed so far. I'm gonna cut these other two sides and we're gonna push on it, and that's gonna give us the real test. And we'll look at the root ball when it comes up. The root ball is gonna come up. If I've got to go get the bucket and dig it out, it will come up. So we will be able to see what it's actually going to do. I do have my big track hoe here. I can dig it with my track hoe if need be. But I'm going to move around and see exactly what this thing does. Uh-oh. When that happens, stay up underneath your canopy. Tree broke in half right there. Don't look up for a little bit. Yeah, that tree broke in half. What? Just keep your bucket up. Keep your head on straight. Don't do nothing stupid for a few minutes. Okay? Now back up and get away from it. And then look up and see what's going on. Okay, that tree broke in 2 or 3 places. The bottom broke off, the middle broke out, and the top broke out. But I don't know where that top's at. Okay, I don't see the top. Yeah, I do. It's hanging right there in that tree. See it right there? It's hanging up in there. So, stump was coming. Stump come up. The tree just wasn't strong enough to hold it. I was in 2-wheel drive. I figured that might happen. That's why I was in 2-wheel drive, trying to keep the pressure off of it. But, you know, you pushing on a tree that high up, you got some leverage going on. So I'll come over here. I'm going to push this side down, get it out of that tree. See if I can get it down, and when it goes down, it's probably gonna knock this top out. Trick is you just stay up underneath your canopy. Don't do this with an open station. Well, I guess they call this one an open station, but don't do it without a canopy on it. That's a steel canopy. It's not plastic. I wouldn't do it with a plastic one. I wouldn't do it with a real thin metal one neither. That one's a pretty good thickness. But I'm gonna go in here and try to push this one down, get that top down, and then I'll get this stump up. Take 5. Y'all, I done recorded this thing 5 times, and all 5 times I didn't hit the button. So I see how that squared off there. I wanted it nice, y'all to see it like that. I need to take my bucket and grab it here and flip it out of there. Get it up out of the hole. For some reason, we've been having them die right here along this line. That one died. There was, you can see another one laying over in there. There's 3 or 4 more over there. There's 5 or 6 more over there. They're just dying right here on this edge for some reason. I had 2 over there die last year. I had to take a couple of those out. But I got it down. I got it off, you know, out of the danger zone. I didn't want it falling back and taking this power out and me have to damn pay for the power. Now, a lot of times your power company will come out and cut them down if they're in danger of taking out the line, but that's only my line. That line just comes to my house. If it was over there threatening them lines, I could have got somebody to take them. You see how they keep that tree trimmed there, and they keep that whole backside trimmed. If one of them die, you just call the power company. They come out here and cut them down for you. But these over here with just my lines coming across there, they don't care if I'm out of power or not. They'll let it fall down and then come back and put it up after it falls down. So I got to get this thing out of here, and I wanted y'all to see how square that cut it. It did a pretty good job. This is it's a B21. I think it's actually only about 17, 18 horsepower, and it's pushing stumps up out of the ground after you cut it with that thing right there's one of them stumps that come up that I cut the tree off. So it's doing a good job. Excellent job, really. I'd have made one hell of a hole getting that up, you know, and see how small that hole is. It's about a bucket full of dirt there. I could turn around and scrape that with this claw and clean most of that dirt off of there. But I'm gonna flip it up out of that hole and get it sitting up there. where I can knock the dirt off of it a little better, and we'll see. I'm gonna take this piece and push it on back down in there, and I'm gonna try to knock that piece down the rest of the way. It's just a little piece that goes from there to the ground. I mean, there ain't nothing there, but I'd rather have it laying on the ground. So I'm gonna try to flip this up first, and we'll come back and show you what happened here in a minute. Okay, y'all. See the bottom of that stump? That's where hard pan is. It can't, them pines can't go through the hard spot of the clay here. So they just, the taproot wads up a lot of times. That's what happened with that one. You can see right there on the top corner, I cut that off with this, whatever you want to call it, shark tooth or whatever. And there's the hole that's left. There ain't nothing there. I mean, that's 6-8 inches deep by 24 inches deep. That's half a wheelbarrow, and we'll fill that up. So now obviously I scraped a little bit of that. There was a little high spot there. I knocked it down, scraped it back in there. But this thing did good. I went across the front of it twice. I believe if I wouldn't have had that pressure up top where it ran in them other trees, I believe it'd come right over. And if you get something other than a pine tree, it would probably work a lot better. Like if I got into that hardwood tree and got something more its size, that tree there, hell, that tree is 10 inches in diameter at the base. That there is, you could cut a 6x6 out of that pretty easy. But that's a pretty big tree for an 18 horsepower tractor to take up, even though it was, you know, somewhat dead. Well, it was dead, but it wasn't really rotten yet. I mean, it was dead, but it wasn't rotten. So it did good in the big scheme of things. That thing was well worth it. The reason I really got that thing was for a quick disconnect. I've got like a 12-inch bucket, an 18-inch bucket, and a 12, 18, and maybe a 9-inch bucket. And I wanted to be able to switch between them. And that's going to work good. So you just basically pull a pin out, hook it, and swing it, and you got it. So I think it's going to do real good. Also, if I do it right, I can, if I take that back pin out, I can turn them around and put them on there backwards, which a few times, you know, I think I would have liked to have done that with that thing. Turn them around, and it would have helped me a little bit. So if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up for filming it. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.